Good evening, YouTube family. Welcome to another Two Family Homestead live stream. Woo!
I bet you couldn't hear me. Now you can probably hear me. Sorry, I had too many things going on here. And all of a sudden it was time to go live. So how is everybody doing? Tinker's wife. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Duncan 1900. So I was just making sure you guys were all on track there. So anyway, a little bit different tonight. We're going to make a YouTube banner. We're going to do it with a program that doesn't cost you anything to get. It's freeware. However, if you have a Mac, it doesn't work. It only works on PCs. If you want a Mac and a freeware program that does the exact, maybe even in some ways a little bit better, things that we're going to show you here tonight, that would be the program called GIMP, G-I-M-P. I highly recommend either one of those, either Paint.net or GIMP. GIMP, in my opinion, has got a little bit higher learning curve than Paint, and that's the reason I like to, at least always kind of start people off with using Paint, because it's just an easier program, I feel, to learn, and it does so much, and it does it so well. It's been around a long time. So let me first Paint.net. Now, if you type in Paint.net, this is what you come up with. And this is not what you want. And that's the reason I want to show you this. So let's just get away from that. And let's do the search in here. Paint.net. I think this will be sufficient. No, it is not. Look at that. It's fooled me twice. So we'll do it this way. And let's go download. And the actual URL to the program is getpaint.net. Getpaint.net. So I will go ahead and put this in the chat here for you. Now, this is not the only place where you can get Paint.net. You can also get it through the Microsoft Store. But if you go through the Microsoft Store, then Microsoft charges you like $20. What they do give you back for that, though, is that it automatically will update for you as they come out with updates. Whereas if you have the raw version, I'm going to call it raw version, directly from the folks that take care of it, you'll be notified that there's a new version to install, but you have to manually go get it and download it and install it and this and that. It's no big deal.
Is this the paint that was installed on most computers?
No. This is not the paint that comes installed on most computers. Paint that comes installed on most computers, and I have that. Let's see what we have here. I know I have it because every computer has it, but I don't have it in the settings there. Let me run over here. Okay, this is the program that comes installed on all the Windows computers. It's called Paint. It's not a bad program, but you're going to struggle mightily with this program as compared to some other ones. So we're just going to close that up. Paint.net is this program right here. And Paint.net has got a full complement of tools. We'll just open up a blank image here. It has a full complement of tools. Your color wheel, any colors, many different formats you can utilize with this. Converting size-wise, the layer tool is extremely good. The effects are just incredible. That you can go through and work with this, and we're going to work with a couple of these here in doing this program here this evening. But I did want you to see it. It's called Paint.net. The version that I'm running is 4.2.12, and I believe that is the latest version. So let me minimize that here again. This is where you get it. It's called getpaint.net. And then, of course, download will put you here. The home page that tells you a little bit about it is right here. It is free. Does not cost you anything. You can see that it has received numerous awards from various sources such as CNET, PC World, Softpedia, and others. It's just it's a great, one of the very outstanding freeware programs that's available out there. And I told you it's been around for a while. PC World said top 100 products of 2007. Well, hey, we're in 2020. It's still going strong. So it's been around a long time, and it does a heck of a job. Now, what we're going to be doing here tonight is a banner, and we're going to work on a specific banner. It's actually for a channel that's in the chat here tonight. Told him we would work on it. We're using him as an example, as a guinea pig maybe. And that's Thomas Schmidt, Homestead Projects, and we certainly appreciate him allowing us to do that. So the first thing that you need to know is what is the actual dimensions, size, and so forth of the banners. So YouTube banner template. That's what we need to come up with. Now, there's a lot of people that have templates out there, especially anything that has to do with YouTube. And you'll see there's banner stacks, free YouTube banner maker, Canva, you can make banners, Spark, you can make banners. But what we're talking about tonight is you making the banner yourself not using some third-party program as far as a program like Spark or Canva. They do fabulous. They really do. But do they do better than you can do? Plus, you get the advantage of, hey, I made this myself. So if we go into support.google.com, and here is image size and file guidelines. So we'll expand that. And these are the dimensions. Minimum dimension for upload. YouTube lives in a world of with an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. That gives you a full size screen image, and that's what that's just the way YouTube works. You can vary from that somewhat, and I'm sure you've seen some of these that where the picture appears to be more square than rectangle.
From your backyard, I usually create our thumbnails.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with GIMP, and I mentioned that earlier, but I will say it again. GIMP is a fantastic program. GIMP in many ways is probably better than Paint.net. I don't believe GIMP is as old as Paint.net, and I think that the learning curve on GIMP is higher. And maybe that's just because I learned on Paint.net before I got GIMP. I have GIMP loaded on my computer. I have other photo editing tools loaded on my computer. But I'm not going to say that it is better, but I'm going to say for somebody that's new, learning how to edit, and if they're running a PC, I believe that Paint.net is a huge step. There is more. I believe there are more resources available for an individual to utilize and learn Paint.net than there is GIMP. If you're already using GIMP, stick with it. You can do everything in GIMP that we're going to talk about here tonight. Now, a banner on YouTube, on your channel for YouTube, is a very, very unique image. In the first place, the banner that you upload, the only way that you would see that entire picture that you upload is if you're looking at your channel on a television set. If you're looking at your channel on a phone, on a tablet, on a desktop, a laptop, you will never see that entire banner. And that's because YouTube actually takes that image that you upload and they cut it up into 3 distinctly separate pieces. Let's see if this, I do not like their examples. I just do not like their examples. Let me see if we can grow monetize. Channel trailer. They have moved stuff around here on me. So I'm going to go back to templates. YouTube banner template. And I'm just going to go directly into images and grab it. this is a YouTube banner template, and it displays, there's other places to download it. But this one should be just fine. So we're just going to do a save image as. What I've done here is I've just highlighted this, say save image as, and I'm going to put this into a folder here where I know where it is. So it's in TechPix, and it's now downloaded. So now if I open up paint.net, this is what the banner looks like. This is a full-size image of the banner. And it is the resolution here.
Farm earlier, I think the banner, I'm going to upload it, but it doesn't fit well on the computer posted.
Okay. And that's exactly what we're gonna get to be talking about here. Let me get some of these other little windows out of the way here. If you notice, the overall size here, the big size, is 2,560 pixels by 1,440. That equates to a 16:9 resolution. Then they have this dark stripe area through the center. So this big picture, that's the size of the banner that you upload. That great big picture. But this center, I'm going to call it a belt because it's right in the middle, is 423 pixels high. And it's divided into 3 distinct areas. One is the entire width, 2,560. So that would be this area here. So that belt. There's another one here that they have marked for tablet. But that's all dynamically done. YouTube doesn't actually cut this out. It's dynamically taken from the one I just showed you. So we'll remove that. But the third part that they take out is right here. This is the center part. And if you notice, it says text and logo safe area. So this is 1,546 pixels in width by 423 pixels high. Oh, Highland, thank you so much for the for the super chat there. We certainly do appreciate it. So this center part here, anything you put in this part will show up on all devices. It will show on a phone. It will show on every laptop, every desktop, every tablet, every single device. The outside areas here, to the left and to the right of this. So this area here on this side, and the same way on this side, depending upon the device that is viewing your channel, there will be a certain amount of information displayed. So those of you that have maybe joined us on our Thursday night shows where we go in and try to help some newer channels get their ducks in a row for the for presenting themselves in the YouTube environment.
So could you just have a white background if you use the center part for large logo type?
Absolutely, you could do that. Absolutely, you could do that. The entire thing to keep in mind is that the only thing that's guaranteed to be displayed on every device is this area right here. And that's the center portion of this big picture. So I want to keep this information here. And I'm going to open up the picture that that Thomas sent me that he's using for his banner. And I want to show you, the size of the picture is absolutely correct. This is what he sent me. And the picture size actually goes all the way out here to the white. And if I take this and I just make it transparent, I guess I need to overlap it. Let me do that. Okay, I'm going to take that template and I'm going to put it right over top of in a new layer. Let me bring my little layer panel down here. So these two images are not joined together. They're laying on top of each other. So I can turn either one of them on or off. I can turn it off, turn it back on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this top layer and I'm going to make it kind of transparent here. So you can see, let me move the property thing. You can see exactly what part of the picture here is going to show on his banner. So what's going to show, let me just click OK here, is this area. I wanted to be sure that I just grabbed, and I didn't. Hold on. This is the part right here that's guaranteed to show on all devices. I should have made that a little bit more transparent. I'm hoping by highlighting it here in the blue, that will reflect pretty well out there for you folks. That's the only part of that picture that's going to show on a phone. Now on a different device, you're going to see a little bit further out to the left and right. You notice you go too far out to the left and the right. Let me just turn this layer off. And you can maybe see where I still have it highlighted here. It turns into white because that's what he's done. He's taken a picture and he's increased the canvas size to a full size. Take that off. Image, which is what he needs to do to satisfy YouTube, to upload it, makes it the right size. But the problem with what has happened here let me Thomas, I hope you don't mind me pulling you up here. Okay, here's what his banner looks like. Now, I'm not going to say there's anything at all wrong with this, but I'm sure that he wants more of the animals to be seen, be looked at. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to work on his picture here and see what we can do to make it more friendly to the page. So I'm going to take that out. We're going to go back to this image here, and we are going to cut it back just to, I'm going to take all the white off of it. So what I did was I highlighted just around the picture here, and I just cropped it to the area that I selected. And I know that this center part is going to have to be 423 pixels in height. Matter of fact, let me do this. Oh. All right. This is the safe area. So I'll just get that size image. I'm doing is I'm copying that. Go back to this image, and we will paste it as a new layer. And so here it is. You can see exactly what it's gonna cover here. So we'll get rid of that. In order to bring the pigs into proportion, I need to shrink this image. So there's a couple ways I can do that. And probably the easiest way to do it is to go into image and just do a resize. This tells me that the height right now is currently 1297. And if the pigs were the right size, I wouldn't go about it in this fashion, but they're pretty good size, and you're going to see most of them. If I can get them small enough to fit in the thing, I'm going to guesstimate that they need to be about a third smaller. So if I just roughly 1300, let's bring it down to about 850 pixels. We'll say, okay. Let's see if that did it. We'll put this back in here. Paste into a new layer. Keep the canvas size. Well, that's going to make those pigs fit pretty well. Okay. So I'll get rid of this. We're back working on this picture. And what I want to do is I want to get rid of this up here at the top. Or do I? What I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of looking at the inch markers here across the top. So I'm roughly right in the center here. And height-wise, this should be about right in the middle. So I'm probably going to want to leave this black up here. I want to resize this image. So I'll go to canvas size. And before I do this, let's just go double check what we need to be. We need to be 2560 by 1440. So 2560 by 1440, we'll go to image, canvas size. I have the aspect ratio unchecked. I need a width of 2560 and a height of 1440. And I'm going to anchor this picture right directly in the middle. If I anchored it at the top, it would add top center, it would add space to the bottom, to the right, to the left. If I anchored it at the bottom in the middle, it would add space to the left and the top and the right. I'm going to anchor it in the middle. We're going to say, okay. And I now have this big white space here around the outside. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that back in. I'm going to paste in a new layer. There's my safe area. And you know the problem here? And I don't know if it's a problem, but the actual color part of the picture is not going to be seen by the entire thing. So if this comes back into the middle like this, let me make this somewhat transparent. You're going to see the white along the outside. Well, it gives us a couple problems. We're going to see that irregardless. So you know what? At this point, I'm not going to worry about it. We're going to go on and we're going to see if we can do some fancier things. So let me remove this layer again. Get rid of my selection. I know that I have the pigs pretty well where I want them. But what I want to do is I want to add something besides just the plain white around the outside. So let's first do this. I'm going to bring out the magic wand and I'm just going to click out here in the white. Then I'm going to hit delete. And what I've just done is I've made everything around that center part of the picture. I have made that transparent so you can see through it. So now let's go grab a different image. And for those of you that have been with us for any length of time, one of the places recommend to get an image is a site called Unsplash. I think I'm just going to, because I don't know, I'm just going to grab this field of sunflowers. Let's download that. And we'll just save it. And let's go open that image up that we just downloaded. It's right here. Now, what is the sizes we need? 2560. So this image currently, oh, it's already 3219 wide, so let's go 2560. We'll say, okay, we'll get the width right. Now I need to do the height. That needs to be 1440. So I'm going to do that with canvas size. Now, to be honest with you, I'm more interested in the colorful background, at least was for this demonstration. So I'm going to anchor this at the top center. We're going to make the height 1440. Let's see what we have. Yep, that just gives us a nice colorful background, I guess. Let's put it that way. So now I'm going to copy that. So I'll do a Control-A to select it, Control-C to copy it. I could do that by going up to the Edit button here as well. I'm going to go back to this picture, and before I do anything else here, I'm going to make a copy, a duplicate layer, and I'm going to uncheck it. But I have 2 copies of this now. So I can mess one up and still go back to this point right here. But now I'm going to take this this one that I just made a copy of, paste it into a new layer. But I need to change the position. Brought it in on top, which you fully expected it to. We'll deselect it. We're going to move this on top. And we now have this picture on top. Now, if you remember, this outside is still there, but it's transparent. So you're seeing the color. So what we want to do is we want to blend that in somewhat. And a way to blend it in is to go to the eraser. And we want a pretty good size brush. We're going to say a 600, but we don't want a lot of hardness. We're going to keep the brush pretty soft. So we'll bring this out here, and we will just do a little bit of brush stroking here around the outside edge. Now, I'm not affecting the clouds. That's a separate layer. I'm just working on this layer here that's got the pigs on it. That doesn't look too bad. So what I've done is I've softened that up. Let me see, it's still a little bit harsh right here. Okay, so that's just kind of softened this up. Let me turn off this layer with the pigs so you can see it's just gone. And if I turn off the background layer, you can see I've made the solid part of the picture blend into the transparency by using that big round soft brush to just kind of melt some of it away. Now, let's see where we're at. We're going to go grab this entire template. And we'll come back in here and we will paste it into a new layer. And let's turn the transparency up. I want to see exactly where we're at. So at this point, and I know it's probably a little bit hard to see where it's coming through for you guys, but you can see I have all 3 of these pigs pretty much dead centered into the area that's going to show across all devices. I'm going to hit cancel here. We're going to, now what I can do, I'm just going to move this layer down to the bottom because we're going to use it again. But I need to I need to get some writing up here. So let's go add another layer. Just another plain layer. But I want this layer to be on top. So I'm going to put it up on top. And let's get the text key here. Now, what font do we want? Paint.net utilizes every font that you have loaded on your machine, even if they're for private use only. I have some fonts that are not for commercial use. They generally say that here. I want to just show you an example. This one right here, for example, says personal use. So this font, I can't use this on a website. I can't use it on YouTube or something, but I can make my own stuff for here at the house with it. I'm looking for kind of a whimsical script, so let's try this one right here. And size-wise, let's start out with about a 48. Where am I at color-wise? Okay, I have black for right now. That'll be fine. And I want that to be a little bit bigger. So let's just increase the font size. And I think this is a good place to start. So let me deselect it. And I'm going to copy this layer. And I can do that by going up to layers and say duplicate layer. So if you notice, I have 2 layer 5s here now. But on this top one, I want to change the color of the lettering. So to do that, I'm going to hit the recolor key. And my 2 colors that I have selected here are black and white. And I'm just going to utilize that. I'm going to turn my hardness up on my paintbrush. I don't need this big a paintbrush, so let me decrease the size of that. We'll go down to 100. And now when I hover over the black and I press the right mouse key because of the orientation of the colors, it's going to take all the black and it's going to turn into white. But just in this layer, because that's the only layer that I'm working on. Notice it's not affecting anything else. All right, let's go back. Now, what I want to do is I want to trade these layers again. I'm going to put the black layer back up on top. And we're going to select this layer and we're going to offset it. So I've selected the layer and now I can move the layer. See, I have 2 layers. So if I just offset it here just a little bit, it gives it kind of a 3D effect on the lettering. And I think that's probably pretty good right there. Or is it? Let's see. It's not so good. Can you see what's wrong? Right here is the safe area. The THO is all the way outside the safe area. A little bit of the M is. The tops of all these letters are outside the safe area. So that's no good. But it's not so bad. We'll put that back down here at the bottom. Because I can take this entire layer and I can, let me first turn off the black. I'll turn off the white. I don't want it to be confusing. So I've turned off the black, and I can now grab this layer because it is an entire layer. Do I not have it? Oh, I know why. Here we go. All right, select the layer. And now I can move this around. Not only can I move it, I can shrink it. I can make it taller. I'm going to go back to where it was. Whenever you're working with layers, or I'm going to call it a semi-rasterized image. If you go to a corner, or turns it to a hand, and you hold the shift key, you can resize everything in proportion. The lettering has stayed in proportion. It's not getting, in other words, by as much as it's getting smaller, it's getting narrower. So I just want the names a little bit smaller. We're going to bring it down to about this size right here. And I'm going to take it and put it over here. And deselect. I'm not going to take my white layer. I'm going to turn it back on. You can see where it was. Select that layer. And to do that, you can go to Edit, Select All. So I've selected this top layer. I'm going to go up to the corner, hold down the Shift key. And let's bring it over. We'll deselect it. And now we need to get the rest of his title up here. So we have Thomas Schmidt. We're going to say Homestead Projects. So we're going to create another new layer. Add a new layer. Get the text area. Now let's change this and get this back into more of a titling, I guess. That's a bit too big. And I can center those. Center line. I could align them to the right-hand side. what do I want to do here with them? I think I'll do it this way. Now, before I go any further on this, let me bring this back up. Go back down and all right, let's see where we're at here. That fits. That's going to display across all devices. We'll bring that back out. What do you think? Should I, is the black good enough, or should I highlight that a little more, like something more like what we did over here? What do y'all think here in the chat? Oh, we must have had something fun going on in the chat, huh?
Yeah. Panhandle.
A panhandler. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Realized her homestead all broke.
Oh my goodness. Did you tell him that we'll give him a 10 for every 100 he gives us?
Bring in more subscribers.
All right. So,
You got that right, ladies and gentlemen.
seeds and animals. Yeah, and computer parts and
Grizzly. Hide the cats, folks.
I think for right now, at least was for this tonight, we're going to stop pretty much where we're at here right now.
Move it over. You're covering the heart on the pig, please, Daryl.
Wait a minute. What am I doing?
Move it over. You're covering the heart on the pig.
I'm covering the heart on the pig. I'm like, where's... I'm covering the heart on a pig. That's the rear end of the pig here. Better not be where the heart is.
John says, needs a white shadow, reverse of the left one.
Well, we can do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
Okay. All right, but I'm... Move it over. You're covering the heart on the pig. I don't see what he's talking about. Do you?
What, Thomas?
Yeah.
No.
Thomas, can you...
Grizz, was that you? I'm gonna get you. The white one, there's a heart on its tuchus.
Oh.
I love it.
Okay. Well, let's do this. All right. Well, we can do this. We Control A.
The P is covering the heart.
Can't go too much further outside. We don't want to cover them up completely. I'm not sure where to put it. I mean, let's see where the what area is available.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Nope. Can you cover they covered their heads? Can you put it down underneath the black pig?
Well, if you look up here, because you're still a little behind, you can see where the Homestead Projects is at. needs to be in this dark area. Of course, they will see that here now in a moment, like right now. So it needs to go up. Well, let's do this. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We're just going to get rid of that homestead project. We'll delete that layer. Let's create another new layer. We'll go back to our text pool. And we will, we have the same thing here, so we'll do it down here, maybe in a different area. Now, the question I have, is that too far down or not? Where can it go in there? It looks like it can maybe go above the pigs.
Why not right there?
Because it won't display.
Oh, okay.
It will not display. It's
I see.
outside the area.
Okay. That is G-rated. Tuchus is a good G-rated Yiddish word.
All right, now let's see what. That's going to be in the area, so that should work. And now we're going to duplicate that layer. So I have that layer highlighted. This is for Homestead Project. And I'm going to duplicate the layer. And I'm going to change the color, just like what we did down here. So let's move it back. We'll do a little bit of shifting. Wait a minute. There we go. Thomas, what do you think about that for a starter here? Anyway.
Thing is, okay, well, I have my thoughts. You see Homestead Projects first and then Thomas Schmidt.
Okay.
I mean, that's my thought.
Well, let's do this. I'm going to take...
Oi, Grizz, you collapsed? That's not a good thing.
Okay. The,
Oh, Thomas likes it.
yeah.
That's all that matters.
Well, for the Thomas Schmidt here, what we're gonna play with this one just a little bit. I have the two colors overlapping. I'm gonna merge those together. That's this one. See, I just turn the white off, and here I can turn the black off. So I'm going to merge those two together. And now I'm going to take that layer, move it to the top. And I can now...
yes, you're right, Thomas. He did say that.
I can now move it around a little bit as a complete layer.
Grizz, I had one on when I went to the doctor this morning, and I totally agree. It was awful having that thing up across my nose.
Let's see what that does. Good, that keeps it all in. Okay, Thomas, you like that any better? Swinging the name around a little bit? Or does that maybe not look as good because it's got the white pig behind it there. The white part of the pig behind it. Of course, I could move it. There we go. We could do it this way. Thomas, you tell me what you like here. Or we can just go back to where we were. What I wanted to point out to everybody here is by doing this in layers, I can build this up and just continue to build on it and change one layer at a time. If I decide I don't like where Thomas Schmidt was located, well, I can take those layers completely out and start over again and put Thomas Schmidt in a different location, a different twist. The same thing applies to all of it here. So I can turn off. Of course, I've joined Thomas Schmidt, so I no longer have black and white. It's all one. I can turn it off and turn it on. I still have separate black and separate white for the homestead projects. We could take the pigs out, leave them in, take the background out. Oh, I'm glad I did that. By taking the background out.
It should be homestead projects on bottom in white.
Okay. Then let me do this. I have that bottom turned off. I can see very well now where I'm at. Wait a minute, let me go back here. And what I'm doing is I'm seeing where the dark rectangle is here, making sure it's all encompassed by that dark rectangle. So now I will deselect that because Thomas Schmidt is level. It's above the pigs, pretty well centered.
He says, but at that angle.
Wait a minute. But at that angle. Well,
You moved it too fast.
we will come back to that here in just a moment.
You also realize the time.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah, we're running here on time. So right now, I'm going to leave it sit where it is because I can come back and grab that here in a minute. So we're going to turn it off. And I need to move the homestead projects down. So we'll move those down one at a time because I thought I heard somebody say that they wanted the white on top, perhaps. Okay. So let's bring this back up. Okay, so we'll now go back to these layers. Let's try this. Thomas, is this more what you had in mind? Okay, Thomas, how's this? Okay, yes, this is. So you kind of like it the way it is here. All right. So let's.
Yeah, I like that one also, Misty. Yeah.
And let's see what it looks like when I turn the background on.
And you can see the heart and everything on the tuchus, so he's okay with that.
Okay, and very quickly, is the cloudy coloring too colorful? You want that more muted or brighter? And just for an example, while you're thinking about that, let me move that up to the top so we're working with it. Let's do this. See, I can change some of the coloring down. We can go the other way. A lot we can do with this. This is where we started. Of course, I can take some of the color out and mute it so it's more of a, maybe more realistic. Or we can go into the almost comical area where it's real bright. We'll put it back to where we started.
Ridiculously late. Going Green Mom says, is there a way to see it in non-TV version?
I'm not sure what. Is there a way to see it in non-TV version? Sort of. Let me. Yeah, let me do this. Give me another layer here. Add another new layer.
It's paint.net on Windows 10. Paint.net is a app, and we both have Windows 10. Yeah, that's true. Going Green. I didn't think about that. It's not the free one that comes with Windows 10. This one you have to go out and download.
Okay, this is what the banner's going to look like on a typical PC. Move the layers down here. So this is what it should look like on a typical PC. Now, Paint.net will work on probably just about any version of Windows. Just so you know, if you want to experiment. So who was it that wanted to see it this way?
Going Green.
Like it on all but the TV versions. Well, this, that's part of the problem, in my opinion, that YouTube has when they're filling up the screen on a television set. It's just most people's banners look crappy on a TV set. There's just no getting around it.
Well, they're stretched out, aren't they? Is that why?
No, it's just because they've used filler like what we've done here to get it to the right size.
Oh, okay.
Or else it's a big repeating picture of some sort. Because what we did here, we had to shrink the picture to get the pigs in proportion to show more anyway than just their tucuses.
They're what? No, Jessica, it's not marked at all.
Okay, this is what we started with.
I take that back, Jessica. It's marked so light. I did see it. I have to put it up to the light on my computer.
Okay, this is what we started with. And this is where we're at right now. Thomas, what do you think? If you like it, I'll save it. I'll ship it out to you, and you can do with it whatever you like. Going green, Mom. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. If you look at ours, for example, I have. I'll bring up a picture of ours here in just a moment. Thomas, are you happy with this? If you are, we're gonna go ahead and save it for you.
A lot better. Yep.
Okay. So we're going to get rid of this layer, which should get rid of the white.
Will part of that banner be cut off on phones and computers?
Yeah, the left and right side will be evenly cut off. In other words, somewhere right, and depending upon the device you're looking at it on, part of this over here will be non-displayed and part of the right will be non-displayed. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this layer. This layer here, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of the original background. We no longer need it. So I now have these other layers. And we're just going to save it. So we'll do a file, save as, and we're going to call it a TS Homestead Projects. Banner. We're going to save it as a PNG file. Okay, so we've just done that. I did say I would show okay, this is how I did our banner. If you notice, the background is just a big picture of a mixing board. And then I put in a black center stripe, if you would, across the center, and I faded it out to the outside edges and put the important part in the middle. So that is the banner that we have. This is the full TV view.
Lazy Bunny has a question for you.
Okay, Lazy Bunny, I'm going to say yes. You can use that same process on doing any type of editing. What I tried to show here was a method to use some layers where you can create temporary changes until you get it the way you want it before you save the picture. And not have to depend on going back, using the back arrow and so forth. Or you can go in and, if you noticed, I put in text and then I copied that entire thing and I made a duplicate of it and changed the color of one of them. So, but this is what I call a banner that degrades well, no matter what device it's on. It's not going to look that bad. And I don't think that Thomas's is going to look bad. Maybe a little bit cloudy, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, and Thomas, I'll get that email to you here in just a little bit. So I hope you all maybe learned a little bit of something here today, and you enjoyed yourself and maybe picked up something. So anybody got any other, you hate the back row? Yeah, once you pick up the technique of utilizing layers, I think you'll just really enjoy it. The advantage with the layers is you can go in and you can modify how it changes, how it affects your background picture. You can change the order of stacking them, the hierarchy of the layers. You can turn them on and off. You can take one out. You can modify it. You can insert a new one in. It's a great way to edit pictures. Well, I'm going to consider this to be a pig's dream. Okay, anything else, hon? I know we're way past time, so I got to get off here. Other people are having their shows and we're intruding. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to our moderators. Thank you very much. Thank you to the folks that have become members of Smudge's Peoples. Very much appreciate you folks. And if you'd like to become a member, if you enjoy what we're doing here and want to help the channel out, so we can continue to do more and more, consider hitting that join button and joining us in our journey here. So with that, Thursday we'll be back at 5 o'clock. We'll do a little channel review thing and go from there. Any questions? Email us, tfamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Sherry and I both say adios. Don't forget us for merchandise too. If you want to get a cup, mug, you don't have to buy a bunch of them. Just email us.
Cheaper than Teespring.
Yep. Take care, folks. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bum 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 bum.